It's time for Wallow and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here's your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome into New Orleans, Louisiana. It's an overcast day and very warm. Does not feel like the end of the year, but we are here, and there's 11 Memphis Tigers who have made the trip. There's a couple of big fellas that are missing. It'll be an interesting game with Tulane this evening for this Tiger basketball team. They haven't played in 2 weeks. The Green Wave haven't played in 3 weeks. More on that in just a little bit. It was a one-sided Liberty Bowl yesterday. Who could have thunk that Mississippi State, which was a huge favorite in the game, would get knocked around 34-7. Now, in defense of Mike Leach and his team, they did have several key players that were missing, especially on defense, and Texas Tech took advantage. And his protege, Coach Cumbie, he just ran it down his throat. 260 rushing yards, almost 6 yards every time they carried the football. Will Rogers he wasn't quite as effective as he's been most of these times. And Memphis was not kind to Mississippi State this year. They came to the Liberty Bowl twice. They lost twice. This was never in doubt. 34-7, the Red Raiders. Do you realize, Jay Morgan, that the SEC is now 0-4 in bowl games?
It just means more, Dave.
They have lost Auburn to Houston, Missouri to Army. How about the military academies? They're 2-0 in games. And heck, Tulane beat Army, then Army beat Missouri. Navy beat our Army, and then Army went on to beat Missouri. Then yesterday's game, Texas Tech and Mississippi State. And UCF, another American team, beat Florida. So the SEC going into tomorrow's games, because they got a couple tomorrow, including Tennessee in the Music City Bowl, they've yet to win a bowl game. That is really unusual. Whereas the American is 3-0 because Houston beat Auburn, UCF beat Florida, Tulsa won one of those early games against Old Dominion, and then there were 3 games that were canceled. Memphis was going to beat Hawaii, I can tell you that. That would have been 4-0. East Carolina's game was canceled, SMU's game was canceled, so I'm not sure there's Cincinnati that's playing, obviously. So you're talking about the American going to have a winning record when all is said and done. So
I think there's a few SEC
crazy.
I think there's a few SEC teams though, Dave, that might have something to say about the SEC record, but when it's all said and done after bowl season.
Well, let's see. You still have Tennessee tomorrow against Purdue.
Right.
And that'll be the Purdue aerial attack against a pretty good defense. Then you have, obviously, Georgia and Alabama favorites in both of their college playoff games. Who else am I missing here?
Well, those are the big two I was thinking of. And Tennessee as well.
Every team but Vandy, 13 teams made bowls.
Yeah.
So they got 9 more opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know. And like you said, those two in the college football playoff might have something to say about it, too.
Oh, sure. I would suspect that. I can't wait for those games. Those are going to be terrific. And, I'm sitting here in New Orleans, and last night I saw a bunch of people, and in fact, I'm going to lunch with Brett Norsworthy today, who, with the broadcast crew, is here. They're ready to go for the Sugar Bowl. So there's a lot of Mid-South flavor between Memphis and Ole Miss down in the quarter here in New Orleans. I must say I mourn a little bit today. Not that I really knew him well. I did meet him several times when I worked and lived in Dallas. And that is John Madden, passing away at the age of 85. Here was a guy who really did it his own ways. People forget because they just see the guy. And, heck, I don't even know, J-Mo, if you remember him as a broadcaster. Do you?
I remember him a little bit as a broadcaster, certainly not as a coach and player, though.
Well, different generations. He never played pro football. He played for a small school, hurt his knee, was never able to play pro ball. So he ended up going into college, the college ranks in California. He was like a linebacker coach or maybe a defensive coordinator. And then Al Davis somehow met him, liked what he saw, and brought him in to be a linebackers coach. And he was an assistant coach for a year or two. And then at the age of 32, he was elevated. So different generations really know John mainly as a coach, then as this incredible broadcaster. And then I think your generation or beyond that, they all know John Madden from Madden Football.
The great
from
video
EA
games.
Sports.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a multi-generational guy in a lot of different ways. But let me tell you how good a coach he was. He had 7 AFC title games that he went to. He won 1 Super Bowl in 1976. His winning percentage, 76%, is amongst the game's best. He was 103, 32, and 7 in the 10-plus years that he was a coach. He retired at 42, and then he became the biggest broadcaster, the first TV analyst that was really bigger than the game. Very simple. He related to everybody because he could take very complex strategic situations, boil it down in a sentence or two, and make you understand it. And he was colorful with the boom and the doink and every other little colorful phrase that he used. That made people relate to him in a great way. And then he was just so natural as a pitchman. He did so many different commercials and beer and I think cars and insurance. Well, it didn't matter. He sold because people liked him. They were drawn to him. And then I don't know how EA Sports got hooked up with John Madden, but that thing is still in existence as it is. And I know Fox just did a documentary on him, which was perfect timing. And it makes me wonder if he was sick because they say he passed away very unexpectedly. But he and his wife just sat there. I have not seen that video, that documentary on him. I think it's a 60-minute video that Fox Network did. Have you seen it?
I saw the beginning of it. I'm still trying to finish the end. I fell asleep during it, to be quite honest. But it was really good, and everything I read about it said it was like a living eulogy, essentially. So I'm glad he was alive to see it, and like you said, kind of died unexpectedly, so I don't think he was sick or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, he was incredible as a broadcaster. I don't think people realize this, too. 16 Emmys. He did 11 Super Bowls in the 30 years he was a broadcaster, 79 to 2009, and he left of his own volition. He just got tired. He hated travel. He wouldn't fly. Remember, they had the Madden bus. He always did things his own way. He was, what's the best way I can put it? He was, in a lovingly way, slovenly. He didn't really care about how he totally looked. He wore the blazer. I think he's one of the first guys to stop wearing a tie. He always wore gym shoes. Like, he was the first guy I could remember as a broadcaster in a press box who came into the press box wearing gym shoes with a suit. Didn't matter. He was the first guy. Everybody else always wore dress shoes. He just sort of did it his own way. And then when the networks really wanted him to continue and he just had such a fear of flying, he wouldn't do it anymore unless they provided a bus for him, and they made the Madden bus, and they made a big deal of the Madden bus. I mean, it was terrific. And his rapport with Al Michaels, and Al Michaels doesn't throw around flowery stuff. Like, if you ever heard him talk about Howard Cosell, you get the real picture of Howard Cosell. And Al Michaels was absolutely generous and talked about what a great and special person John Madden was. So the game of football, really, all of us who love sports lost an incredible figure. But what a life well lived. 85 years of doing it his own way and just being a terrific person. I mourn for his family. I really do, and I send them my hopes and prayers. But what a great life well lived. We got a really good show for you today. At 10:25 or so, Rob Fisher, who was pressed into duty because of COVID, Eric Hasseltine couldn't do the last couple of Grizzlies games on the road in California. I think he actually drove himself back, so he must not have been really sick. It was asymptomatic, but he tested positive. So Rob Fisher left the sideline microphone on TV to do the radio games and did a terrific job. If any of you heard it, you would have been impressed. And Rob's going to join us to talk about this improbable run with the Grizzlies, who are so solid in that fourth position. Who would have figured that? And we're almost halfway through. He'll join us at 10:25 to talk Grizz, who, by the way, are playing the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. I don't know if you saw this, J-Mo, but last night the Lakers snapped a 5-game losing streak.
They did.
Do you know where they played LeBron James?
Well, they started him at the center, according to the box score.
He not only started at center, he played center the whole game. And he ended up with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Can you believe that?
It's unbelievable. And LeBron James actually leads the league in 30-point games this season, and he's only played 23 games. So he's about to turn 37. So no sign of slowing down.
Tomorrow is his birthday. So he actually, if the clock strikes midnight before he gets on that plane to go back wherever they're going tonight, he will turn 37 in Memphis, Tennessee. I always say this. If you've got the opportunity to go see LeBron in person, you got to do it because it's special. The first time I ever saw him in person, I just was totally amazed that somebody as big as he is could be as fast as he is. You don't realize on TV, because you're seeing it up against all these other giant guys, right? When you see it up close and personal, and if you were sitting on the floor and I promise you'll be amazed at how quickly this guy runs up and down for the size he is. He looks like a defensive lineman, but he runs like a guard. It's scary. It really is. So you get the chance to go see that. It'll be terrific. Hey, did you know, and this really bodes well, that the starting backcourt in the game last game, in Phoenix, Ja and Bane. One scored 32. That was Bane. And then Ja had 33, including the game winner. Do you know that is the first time since Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse so many years ago? That's the first starting backcourt to both score 30 points in a game since those two, at the age of 23 or under.
I actually saw that this morning, and I was amazed. First, not only that Jerry Stackhouse scored that much in a game that when he was that young. No, I'm just joking, but it was an incredible stat. And Desmond Bane is certainly making a run for most improved player in the NBA this year. Pretty much every time I see that on Twitter, I throw his name out there because I think his name needs to be mentioned more, and people might not be watching the Grizzlies every night because it's a smaller market, but Desmond Bane is certainly contending for most improved player of the year.
Well, here's one thing I think for sure, and I saw this on Twitter, and the Grizzlies ought to start this campaign. Look up real quick what his three-point percentage is, because shouldn't he be in the three-point shooting contest? Heck, half the time these All-Stars really don't want to do it. This would be a good chance for Bane to market himself if he could get into the three-point shooting contest. And frankly, I think he'd be up there with a shot to win it, as long as Steph Curry's not involved.
Yeah, this season he's shooting 43% from three, which is incredible.
My goodness.
That's incredible.
So 43%. How many threes this year? And how many per game? He's
averaging making 3 a game, shooting about 7 a game. In terms of totals, he's made 100 this year and shot 235.
Wouldn't that be three-point contest ready? I mean, shouldn't he be a contender for that?
Percentage-wise, certainly. Let me look up totals.
Because, I mean, this guy ought to have a shot at that. He really should. So, as you do that, I'm gonna kind of steer now to the game tonight with Memphis and Tulane. I mentioned both teams have been off for a while. The Tigers 2 weeks, but the Tulane Green Wave 3 weeks. This is the opening for the American Athletic Conference for both teams. So this game Memphis obviously cannot slip up on, and Memphis has only 11 guys on this trip. Unless more come, this will be it. And Memphis will be minus 2 big guys. I did not see on the airplane today DeAndre Williams, who's critical to this team, nor did I see Jalen Duren. I don't know what their availability will be for Wichita State. I don't know if they might catch a plane or something this morning. Maybe they couldn't be around the team until tonight. But at this point, those 2 guys were not on the trip.
No, Duren's a big loss there, too.
Well, yeah. So now, honestly, I can tell you who was on the trip is Malcolm Dandridge. So there's a good chance that Malcolm Dandridge will start for the first time this year. He's played in 9 of their 10 games. He missed the Georgia game. Remember, he got that was not COVID. He was sick. And so he missed that game, but he's played in every other game. But he'll probably be the starter. And if those two guys don't show up, he'll be the starter tonight. I think Connor Glennon was the other guy other than the red shirts. And we now know for sure that Camden, Jonathan Lawson, and Sam Onu are all getting redshirted. So I think those are the two main guys that are still under protocols, if that is the reason they are missing this game. But there's your heart and soul guy, DeAndre Williams, and one of your superstar guys, Duren. Bates is here, Lomax is here, Timberlake is here. And so Timberlake hasn't played the last couple of games. He had some knee issues. We'll see if he is able to go. But that is interesting. And Memphis at this point, I believe their net is still right in the. Let me double check to see what that net is at this moment. It's 60. So they lost 2 by not playing any game. When they were going to face Tennessee, they were 58. They're 60. The Green Wave net is 216. You cannot lose this game. You cannot slip up and lose this game and, continue to be an at-large team. You're still trying to find, by the way, a quad 1 makeup game. Well, did you see John Calipari?
I
who
did.
Said if they lose any more games, he'd play anyone, any place, anytime. Well, if you've got any kind of gap, Cal, come play Memphis, or let's meet in Nashville. That'll be fine, but let's play that game.
That would be something, certainly. You would think any place, any time, that would include Memphis, but you never know. Also, to put a bow on Desmond Bane, Dave, he's made the 6th most threes in the NBA this season.
6th most?
Sixth most.
He should definitely be in the three-point shooting contest, and the Grizzlies need to make a push or market that somehow, some way. That'd be good for the team. That'd be good for Desmond Bane, who seems to be a pretty nice young man.
Absolutely.
I've not really met him, but from what I've seen when he speaks and in his interviews and press conferences, he's an impressive young guy for sure. Back to the Tigers, and they're trying to make up that quad 1, which, they really need to do. So Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal, who's a guest on this show quite often, he did his homework. He did a really good job. So here are teams that are quad 1 at the moment that have availability in the time slot between Feb 12 and Feb 20 that would make up for it. Believe it or not, Colorado State, the team they beat in the NIT in Frisco last year, they have availability, and their net is like 26. It's a good net. UCLA is available. Ohio State is available. Seton Hall. Those would all be quad 1s. Where you played these next 3 opponents could also qualify as a quad 1 or a quad 2, and they have some time that would match with Memphis's schedule. That's DePaul, Florida State, and Northwestern. So there's quite a few right there between Kentucky, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 8 teams that you could try to let's make a deal and play in that late February time slot to try to make up for the loss of the Tennessee game. By the way, I've also heard, I don't know who, I still am not sure who the 6 unvaccinated players are, but I know that a couple of them have gotten vaccinated. Memphis would like to get everybody vaccinated to try to help in brokering these makeup quad 1 games or game. It would be a much more attractive entity if it was 100% vaccination, but at least I think 2 of the 6 have done that, and the others are pending. So we'll see exactly how all of that works. So, the Family Leisure Studio has moved. It's in New Orleans for today, but I need for you to move to I-40 and Wooden Road and go check out what will become the after Christmas and New Year sale. that Lindsay and Billy, well, they always come up with great marketing plans, and they'll have stuff they want to move because spring's right around the corner, right? So you need to get to I-40 and Whidden Road. Go check out the hot tubs and saunas. They were on a really cool special deal just a week or so ago. That may be continuing depending on how many they sold. Go check on that. The pool tables are state of the art. Everything is ready and shiny and just waiting for you to come. So head on over to I-40 and Whidden Road. Go see them all. See what's cooking at Family Leisure. And this portion of the show brought to you by my friends at Old Dominick. That's a proud hometown partner of the Tigers. Located, as I keep telling you, right in the heart of downtown. They have these wonderful distillery tours. They have curated tastings. They've got craft cocktails, and their products are everywhere. Next time you go into your favorite spirit shop, like Eddie Connor's at the Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick, ask about the hometown spirit. Ask about Old Dominick, because he's got it there. They've got it everywhere. You'll really love it. And if you do decide to sip during this holiday season, they absolutely say share a sip of Pure Memphis, but do it. When you're going to basketball games or bowl games, make sure you do it responsibly. Our good friends at Old Dominick. We'll pause for just a second, and when we come back, we'll talk more Grizz. We'll see if Rob Fisher's in on getting Desmond Bain to the three-point contest. Rob Fisher comes your way in just a minute.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get ready to command the season in your new Kia from Gossett Kia on the Pike. All with Kia's year-end push and a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to back them up. 2022 Kia Forte 41 MPG 179, only $27.99 due at signing. Or 2022 Kia Sportage LX front-wheel drive, $199 a month. Or 2022 Kia Sorento $279 a month, both only $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month leases. If you're ready to end the year in a big way, come see Bobby J today. He's ready to buy your sleigh and put you in a new Kia. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Sorrento NGO 92178, MSRP $30,875. Sportage N 7017,625, MSRP 25,815. Forte 8429,506, MSRP 21,035. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 103/21. Dealer stock only.
Tire pressure light on? Tread low? Car sliding when you stop? It's time to go down to Milton on the Spot. Serving you at 3 locations: 1684 Getwell Road, 2127 Ellis Presley, and 3691 North Watkins. Memphis' largest supply of new and used tires, all under warranty. Yes, that's warranty on used tires too. Ask about the tire rotation and balance specials. Milton on the Spot on Getwell Road, Elvis Presley, or North Watkins. Here to take care of your every tire need. Milton on the Spot.
Is your company going through a merger or downsizing and you feel your job is in jeopardy? Don't delay. Call ProResume, the #1 source for professional resumes in the Mid-South. Go to ProResume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
Nothing says Happy New Year like getting the SUV, car, or truck you want to drive into 2022. Everything you want is here at the new Auto Universe Germantown. Have you heard about this? Nothing but the best. The finest vehicles you'll see in one place anywhere. Make it to the lot and showroom on Winchester just off 385. Auto Universe is a lot full of luxury automobiles like Lexus, Infiniti, Audi, Jeep, Mercedes, Nissan, Honda, Chevy, Toyota, and get this, no haggle pricing. If you're looking for a slightly driven, previously loved pre-owned vehicle, you got to see these at Auto Universe Germantown, and they tell me they're adding more by the hour. Or go to eautouniverse.com. Happy New Year from their family to yours. The only dealership you'll ever need. Unbelievable selection, simplified financing, top service technicians, even collision repair. Everything you want in one place. It's at 7300 Winchester, just off 385. Only the best make it here to Auto Universe Germantown. That's eautouniverse.com.
FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. That means you can place all your bets on a trustworthy app that's also easy to use. Basketball fans, celebrate the NBA's 75th anniversary season on FanDuel Sportsbook 2. Right now, new customers can place their first bet risk-free. And if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. Already have FanDuel Sportsbook? Well, FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will get $50 too. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code BIGHEAD to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 and make every moment more this NBA season. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager. Only refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I don't know if you've seen the weather report. We're going to be in Wichita, Kansas, and it is going to drop from Friday to Saturday 50 degrees. Crazy. And Memphis is going to have that same kind of drop. I don't know if it'll be quite as dramatic, but it's going to get cold over the weekend. And I just wonder if your water heater is up to that task. You know, during the cold winter months, groundwater colder. It requires more energy to heat the water. And those old, inefficient, archaic tanked water heaters can't keep up, I promise. So maybe it's time you think about calling John Conway, because he's got a water heater that never runs out of hot water. It's the tankless, and now's the perfect time to get tankless from John, because he's offering 12 months interest-free, or he'll give you $250 for that old, archaic tank water heater. Plus, you know the energy-saving models only heat the water you use, so you save money on your gas bill every month. And you never have to worry about a tank bursting, like up in your attic and all that water dripping down, because there is no tank. So call John today, 384-3511. It's the best way to go. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. So I'm driving home the other night, and I'm going to tune in really quick to see what the Grizzlies are doing. And there's that familiar, friendly voice that we have all come to love for over all these years. My former partner, by the way, Rob Fisher, pressed into duty because Eric Hasseltine had COVID, and you were terrific. Congratulations on being the best fill-in there could have been.
Well, thank you very much. It was kind of a nerve-wracking Sunday when we found out Sunday morning, and had a couple of hours to turn around and do a game. And you know me, Dave. I like to over-prepare, so not having any time to prepare was freaking me out Sunday. And but Monday was a little better, and I was able to do it. And just happy I was able to do it, and happy that we got a group that's pretty deep, that when guys go down, we're like the team, next man up, and we were able to get through it. But Eric's going to be back on the call tonight, so he'll be back in his right seat, and I'll be back in my correct seat as well tonight. So that'll be good. But, Dave, before we talk Grizzlies, I do want to mention this. Thought of you the other day. We were in Phoenix after the game and after that amazing win, and we're at the hotel, and in the hotel lobby, there's a lobby bar, and sitting at a chair at a table reading a book is your skipper, Tony La Russa. And had a nice 15-minute chat with the White Sox manager, and talked a little baseball with him and talked a little basketball with him. It was great to catch up with Tony. I hadn't seen him in 25 years, so it was.
Is that right? You hadn't seen
with him in
Wow, that's a long time before.
20, 21 years. I mean, I've been in Memphis now 20 years, so 21 years since I last saw Tony. So I had to reintroduce myself, but once we started chatting, it was very pleasant. It was cool to hang out with Tony for a little bit.
So tell the truth. How much did you talk White Sox, and how much did you talk Cardinals?
A little even. He's not a big fan of the Cardinals organization right now.
No, I know.
With the way things are going and the way things went with Mike Shildt, he's not very happy with the Cardinals as an organization. But he loves being with the White Sox. He loves his young team, and I had the nerve to ask him, being with a young team, has it kind of rejuvenated you? And he looked at me and was very quick to point out, hey, let's not forget I've had 6 rookies of the year. And I was like, oh, okay. So he was quick to remind me that he's had a bunch of good young players in his career.
It's crazy, but we're talking about 5 weeks from spring training. So,
yeah,
come on, time goes very, very quickly. That is for sure. So I do have to ask you this. I know you're a seasoned veteran. You've done so many games over so many years, TV or radio. But when you got thrust into that, did you have any butterflies? Were you nervous at all?
Absolutely. I mean, it was play-by-play is something that I've wanted to do since I was a kid. I mean, Jack Buck and Dan Kelly are two guys growing up. It's the reason why I'm in this business, growing up in St. Louis and being around two of the best in their respective sports. And, so I've always loved doing play-by-play, but I was trying to even think. Probably the last time I did play-by-play was, when we used to carry the Conference USA tournament on Sports 56. So it had been a long time, and not having an analyst, I was a little nervous about that as well. And, doing an NBA game. So yeah, there were a lot of butterflies before the game started. But as I kept telling people, I was like, just let's get to the game. Let's get to once the game starts, I'll get lost in the game and I'll be fine. And all of a sudden it'll be over. And that's exactly how it went. So once it started, I kind of got the flow and got going, and the butterflies ceased at that point. But the other night, I'll tell you what, in that Phoenix game when Booker hits the 3 and the Grizzlies are trailing, it was a moment, because I was like, oh, this is so devastating. This is going to be such a tough loss, but maybe we can pull it out. And then Ja hits the basket. And to be able to have on my resume that I called 2 NBA games and I'm 2-0, and one of them was a game winner, final second shot. I don't think I could have asked for a better game.
Well, and the Ja call is a good call. So you've got a really good moment on that tape to send out if you ever decide to do that kind of thing. I know, though, you'll love doing your sideline thing, which you'll be back at tonight. And, I have to ask you, did you ever in your dreams hear almost halfway through this season on really the last couple of years were supposed to be rebuilding years? You've accumulated all these draft picks and you're building for the future. And here you are, the 4 seed in a comfortable 4th seeded position and so competitive against anybody you play. Did you see this coming?
I don't think at the beginning of the season I would have said I saw it coming, but as the season has gone on, you can see why. The depth of this team. I think that's one of the biggest keys with the team this year is our others are better than your others. When the Grizzlies go to the bench, they're just deeper than other teams, and they're either sustaining leads or not letting other teams build leads when the Grizzlies go to the bench, and that's been huge. And I think obviously the growth process of John Morant, I don't think is shocking. To me, the growth of Desmond Bane isn't shocking. I know it is to most. I felt Desmond Bane would take a huge step this year. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than I even imagined, but he's taken a huge step. So I just think everything's kind of, you got this young team, and so you wondered, would they hover around 500? And after 20 games, they were hovering around 500 again, much like they did last year. And then they just locked in. And I think it took having Ja away from the team for this team to wake up and realize that you can't stand around and watch Ja. You have to be able to do it yourself. And I think that's what they did while Ja was away. Everybody stepped up their game. Every individual. Taylor Jenkins had the great quote when Ja went down. He said, don't do more, just do what you do and do it better. And I think every guy from top to bottom has done that when Ja was out. And now that Ja's gotten back, it took a game for him to kind of get acclimated into the team and kind of feel things out. But now, I think now it's clicking on all cylinders. And this was a huge road trip because even in Golden State, the loss, they played really well. They competed. It was down to the wire. And then to take care of business in Sacramento like you did, and then to win the game in Phoenix in the fashion that you did. I mean, this team at this point, through 35 games?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big sample size. And I think for them to be in 4th right now, just the way that they're playing And really, they've been pretty lucky as far as the health is concerned. Even though now they got a pretty long list of guys who are in health and safety protocols at this point, they've been relatively able to put out a good lineup and good depth on a night in and night out basis that a lot of teams haven't been able to do.
Do you think, because you said the team got a wake-up call with Ja out, that they had to get better defensively in particular, and they win 10 of 12? Ja sees that. Ja's a realistic guy, smart as could be. We all know that. Do you think Ja says to himself, you know what, I've been really concentrating on getting better with range and three-point shots, but maybe I need to get better defensively? Do you think there's any change in Ja with the success of the team without him?
Well, I think first of all, I think anybody's human, and to see success without you probably raises a flag and makes you think, okay, well, I don't think it was me, but why are they doing so well without me? And Ja's a great student of the game to where he saw what was going on, and Taylor made mention of that when Ja came back, that, Ja has been in tune with the team. Ja has been, whether he was at the arena and on the bench, he was like another assistant coach, or if he was at home watching the games. I mean, the guy is just a studier of film. So I think Ja took the approach. I don't think it was really Ja saying to himself, I need to do this better, I need to do this better. I think it was more, this is what I need to do to fit into how these guys are playing now. And I think he's done that. And, defensively, everybody's got to step up, and he is one of them. And it's about effort. You just got to have more of an effort on the defensive end, and I think we'll see that from Ja. He's too good of a student of the game, and has too high of an IQ to not see those things and to not, put that effort out there on the defensive side. So I expect that from Ja. I didn't think Ja would take a lot of it personal when the Grizzlies were winning. I think it was more a matter of, okay, how do I fit in now with how these guys are playing? How can I make them better? How can they make me better? Because that's what it's always about with Ja. It's about how do I make the team better? It's not about individual. It's about team. And I think that's something that he certainly recognized while he was out.
Last thing for our good friend Rob Fisher. You'll see him on the sidelines with the Lakers tonight when the Grizz take on the defending champions. This has nothing to do with basketball. It has to do with what you used to do. I think you still do, the fish scales. So if you do, you've got to tell me, by your crazy methods, who wins the Sugar Bowl, Baylor, Ole Miss, and who wins the semifinals, Alabama, Cincinnati, Georgia, Michigan?
I like Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss over Baylor. Covered the 1.5 as well. I can't remember exactly. They were pretty similar in the fish scales. I think Ole Miss was slightly ahead of Baylor in the final ranking. But the Final Four turned out, the Final Four fish scales, it was Cincinnati 1, Alabama 2, Michigan 3, Georgia 4. So it had those four teams just in a different order. I like both SEC teams. I think if Georgia and Michigan would have played the week
you just said Cincinnati was number one in the fish scales. How could you like Alabama over them?
But the problem is the fish scales are basically set up for a Power 4 or a Power 5 playoff, and Cincinnati would be in the non-Power 5 championship game. So technically the fish scales set up, it was Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, Notre Dame was number 4 on the playoff. But Cincinnati, obviously being in the playoff, that changes things up. But I just like the SEC teams. I think given a month to prepare, they're going to be able to take care of business. I like them both to cover as well. I like Georgia, I think, a little bit more than I like Alabama as far as the covering aspect is concerned, but I don't see a problem with either one of them winning.
All right. How are the kids? Everybody good?
Everybody's good. Just trying to stay healthy and get through these tests every day.
No kidding.
And try and stay on the sidelines. It's, I mean, this last road trip was scary. Just kind of waking up every day and hoping the test results come back negative. And for some of us, it did. And, we left Eric back, and he had to get back to Memphis. And Tom Hewitt's back in Phoenix right now, our director. And
oh wow, I didn't know that.
We have a couple of players that are back in Phoenix right now. So, it's just it's a daily fluid thing, and you just hope you can get through every day.
Yeah. Well, bottom line is you hope it's asymptomatic and that there is no discomfort. And I wish you the happiest and healthiest of New Year's. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Waldo. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you as well and all the listeners, and always a pleasure, man, anytime.
You got it. That's Rob Fisher, sideline tonight for the Lakers and the Grizz on Valley Sports South. We got to take a break. I'll let you know this portion of the show brought to you by Dinstall's. Well, the holiday season's not quite over, You could still send a New Year's gift. I know Christmas is over, but who wouldn't want Cashew Crunch? Who wouldn't want Turtlettes? Who wouldn't want caramel apples? They still have those, or Heavenly Hash, all those wonderful products that say Memphis. So if you've got an out-of-towner, maybe you do business with them, and you want to say something about Memphis, or you got a homesick loved one that's out there, the best way to do it is Dinstall's, all 5 locations. They're humming. This, by the way, Becky told me was their best year in a long, long time. So, folks, I know you appreciate Dinstall's. It always makes it a happier year if you go to Germantown, Laurelwood, Pleasant View, where they make it, Collierville, or even downtown. Dinstall's says in the sweetest way, Memphis. Sweet guy, Jarvis Greer from Action News 5. He comes your way in just a second.
This is Gabe Kuhn from Sports Time. I speak for all of us here at 56 when I say we appreciate your constant love and support, and we wish you and your loved ones a happy holiday season. And as always, be sure to listen to me and Stats on your ride home from 3 to 6, right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pin, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time, as simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Santa's ready to put you in a new sleigh today at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. And Rudolph's got a new 2022 Outlander, $369 a month. Not a lease, you own it. Plus, get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
75 months at 2.64 APR. Outlander NZO 43358. MSRP 31040. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/21. Dealer stock only.
It's the year-end sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi, featuring the all-new 2022 Outlander. Rule the road with Mitsubishi's super all-wheel control and wireless smartphone technology, plus an industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Unwrap yours starting at $26,095. Only at Gossett Mitsubishi. Get thunderstruck.
Super all-wheel controls and available feature on all trim levels. Manufacturer suggested retail price based on Outlander ES2WD excludes destination handling, tax title license, etc. Retailer price, terms and vehicle availability may vary. See dealer for limited warranty and program details. Offer ends 1/3/22.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again, it's the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Title sponsor is Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Go see Chris True and all the gang. They have set the standard for the way car business should be done right there at the corner of Highway 78 and the first exit in Mississippi, Craft Road. This portion of the show also brought to you by a guy I admire. I love people that are immersed in their profession, that have a passion for what they do. And that's exactly what Sheldon is all about. He works 24/7, it seems, 365. It's all about helping you out, moving your house or finding a place for you. If you'd like to see it, go to memphisrelocate.com. Give Sheldon a call at 483-0546. Now, he likes to say he's the worst golfer in town. He's probably not, but he never practices. And you know why? Because his deal is moving houses. And he's got a tremendous strategy. It's a strategic marketing program that he puts together. He prices your house right. He always moves them quicker than any other real estate agent. And he'll say, talk to 2 or 3 others. Just make sure you talk to him too. Then you'll be sold. Again, that number, 483-0546. Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf. My good friend, my partner on football radio is Jarvis Greer, who worked his tail off with Cassie Carlson in Honolulu, pretty much for nothing, just like me. How are you today?
Oh, man, that was the trip that wasn't. It was a great trip now, don't get me wrong. It's just that you don't get the payoff at the end, and that was the bummer to the whole thing by not being able to play the game. But, what are you going to do? I mean, this is like and I do want to say this, for all people wanting to blame other people, well, they could have played if they could have done this. This thing is running rampant through everybody now. And, we've seen all these cancellations and postponements, and I think Ole Miss game against Florida basketball just got called off last night, and they were supposed to play today. That could impact their game later with Mississippi State, because I think they were going to play Florida too. And it's just and what about the Holiday Bowl getting called 4 hours before kickoff?
That's a little like actually the Memphis and Tennessee game, and that
right.
came down to, again, I'm guessing, I don't really know what happened with UCLA there, but I'm guessing they got tested at breakfast or lunch or whatever, and we got too many guys that can't make it.
Yeah, from what we heard, that there was their whole defensive line was obliterated by this, and through contact tracing, basically took out most of the defense. So, what are you going to do? You can't play. You don't have any defenders. I mean, you'd be moving guys over from offense to defense and playing your walk-ons and your, guys that really haven't played. And it's like, that's and really, who wants to see that? If you were going to play it, who really would want to see something like that? It's just, there's no real blame to go around because it's an airborne virus. And you could get it, you could not. And it's just really difficult. But at least Memphis got the hardware. The AAC is 3-0.
They got the trophy. Yeah,
they got the trophy. So there you go.
And ESPN paid off, and we did medals on Monday. I gave ESPN a gold medal for still paying Memphis for that trip, being really a good partner. And I was asked what was the reaction of the team, and
yes.
I'm going to ask you the same question. My answer was it was sadness. It wasn't mad or depressed.
No.
It was just we had a chance. We got a nice vacation out of the whole thing because they were there since Sunday, so they got to see Pearl Harbor and go to a luau and time on the beach, and they were really responsible. They did a great job in having a good time without getting in any kind of trouble or having any kind of problems. And really, for the seniors, those are the ones that I felt the worst for. You've been through that when you put the pads on for the last time, and you're sort of mentally set for that last game. And when you didn't get it, that has to be tough.
No, it's disappointing. And like we talked with Maurice Avery while we were out there, the former Tiger wide receiver turned quarterback during the D'Angelo area when they won the Motor City Bowl. And he's stationed out there in Hawaii. He's in the Army now. And he said that, man, they were all set and ready to play and ready to go to the game and have a good time and, see some of the former teammates that, there was a few former Tigers that made the trip out there because it's a vacation, right? And, what better reason to go than, you go on vacation, but also you get to see your team play. And he said he'd never experienced anything like that during his career. And he really, for the guys that are, going to don that blue and gray for the final time, it's like, I'm ready to put those silks on, and then all of a sudden you can't do it. It's like it's taken from you. And the toughest thing was they had worked for a month, basically getting ready, to go play this game, and they didn't get to play. They did everything, but it's like you're all dressed up and nowhere to go, and that's the toughest thing for those guys. But some of the guys got to, they signed a waiver. They were able to stay out there with their family that came out to the island, and and get some enjoyment, and at least you got a trip out of it. It's better than going. Everybody was saying it's better than going to Fenway, to Boston, and freezing to death for a game.
Well, and that game got canceled too.
Yeah, for a game that did not, and that's the second year for Fenway. Memphis would have been there last year, but they couldn't play because of COVID. And they played in Montgomery instead, and they got a win out of it. So, that worked out. But nobody's been to Boston yet for a bowl game, so we'll see. And Fenway may be cursed. Who knows? I hope they get the play.
The curse of Fenway. There have been other curses, that is for sure. All right, so let's sort of put a bow on this football season. 6-6. It's 8 years in a row that you haven't had a losing season. I know it would have been better to say have a winning season, and you would have, I think. Memphis was favored to win that game, and they were really ready to play it too. They were prepared. They had great practices. I think they would have won that game. But we put this one to bed knowing that next year you've got Seth Hennigan coming back. You got a majority of your offensive line coming back. You got a defense that was getting better as the year went on. It lost some key players like J.J. Russell for sure, but you've got a bunch of those guys coming back. What do you, way too early, what do you see for Memphis next year?
Well, first of all, recruiting starts on the 14th, January 14th. Coach Silverfield told us at his final news conference out there that I'm gonna put my toes in the water. I hadn't had a chance to do that since I've been here in Honolulu, and I'm gonna take a picture and say, we went to a bowl game. Here's bowl games we can go to. I'm gonna send it to recruits. So they say, hey, look, you come to Memphis, you're gonna go somewhere and have some fun after the season. And I think his main target is to get some running backs, and because that's been a problem the last couple of years, right? And the Tigers have not been able to run the ball successfully after having all those years, with the guys that are in the NFL right now and doing very, very well. Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson, Darrell Henderson, and that crew. Wow, what a running back room that was, huh? And they're going to have to go out there and find some more guys that can really get it done.
Well, and their recruiting coordinator told me that Memphis signed a kid from Atlanta already in the earlier period that is faster than Kenny Gainwell. We'll have to see about that. Jarvo, I wish you, Emily, JJ, all the grandkids, the happiest and healthiest of 2022s. Thank you. We'll talk to you next year.
Hey, man, it was great. We had fun while we did it. And, 6-6 may not be the greatest record in the world. It's 2 off. Most people thought it'd win 8 games. But, hey, it was a good ride. And
thank you, buddy.
It'll be fine going forward. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. That'll do it for us here in New Orleans. We'll see you in studio tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you